Greetings from the Northwoods of Michigan's Upper Peninsula. I'm Natasha, and this is Plant-Centered Living. Today, I am in my studio with Lisa Cram, and we are going to be talking about Lisa's experience with plant-centered living from the beginning. So I'm going to ask her a few questions, and she's going to share her experiences with you because I really feel like they are very authentic, and there are others of you out there that are going to go, yep, that's also happening to me, or that's happened to me. And it's always good for all of us to support one another. So why don't you go ahead and kind of introduce yourself? Where are you from? How old are you?
I'm Lisa Cram. I live in Marquette, and I'm 38 years old.
Great. So, Lisa, you didn't really choose a plant-centered living. It kind of maybe chose you.
Yes.
And so it's my understanding, and people have met Brad here in my studio, that the two of you started developing a friendship that led to you cooking together.
Right.
And from there, that's kind of where you got your introduction.
Yes.
Okay. So talk a little bit about that.
Well, I didn't go 100% plant-based until December, actually.
Okay.
But I started eating plant-based in July, a little bit here and there.
Sure.
And Brad kept bringing things over like, oh, see, this isn't bad, vegan food. And
a way to a woman's heart is through her stomach.
So he just kept bringing more and more food. And then I'm like, okay, this isn't so bad. So we started cooking stuff together. But before we started cooking stuff together, we had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for a week. Actually, for a month. Peanut butter and jelly and spaghetti. That's what we ate.
Yeah. Because, part of it is for people is it's like you want to go plant-centered, you want to go plant-based, but you're not really sure how to do that. Yeah. And so it's kind of remaking your kitchen and reformulating the way that you approach food because you even cook.
Right. And it was nice because I was able to move into a new apartment, so I didn't have any of the meat or cheese or anything
from the beginning.
Yeah, so I was able to buy dried beans and cook them in my Instapot and put them in the freezer because I had all this freezer space because it was a new apartment.
Yeah.
So it was kind of nice that way because I didn't have anything.
Right. So you got to start plant-centered from the very beginning in your new apartment.
Right.
Kind of set it up and set your pantry and kitchen up the way you wanted it.
Yes. So it was nice that way. And Brad already had his kitchen set up because he didn't have any of that in his kitchen.
Right. Right.
Because he started before me.
So I know for you, from what you've shared with me, is certainly it's been a process as you learn new things. And as I mentioned, you have cooked for a long time. Yes. So it isn't as if you're unfamiliar with the kitchen.
Right.
But what are some of the changes that you've had to go through in how you prepare food?
Well, I cooked with oil for a long time. And I slowly cut it out. And then I'm like, this isn't that bad. So now I don't cook with any oil.
And what were some of the things, do you remember, or can you talk about, well, okay, at first, like when you first start cutting out oil, how was that experience?
Well, I cut it out for like a week, and then I had something that had oil in it, and my back was hurting, my ankle was hurting, and it was really interesting to me. It's like,
where do you think that was?
It's like, boy, that oil really does do damage to your body. I didn't realize it until,
So it sounds like it was an inflammation reaction.
Yeah.
That it was like, oh, okay, we haven't had this. We're feeling pretty good. And now, ooh.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Now, Brad always jokes. He always says, well, Lisa used to put butter on absolutely everything. And, and then I know you went to margarine.
No.
No?
I always had Smart Balance butter.
Oh, okay.
I've been eating that for a couple of years.
Okay.
So I already had the butter, and I've always drank almond milk.
Okay.
for a long time.
So technically those were already
based.
plant-based.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I would always put loads of butter on baked potatoes and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I was there. I can feel your pain on that one.
and then we stopped putting, we had a lot of garlic toast and stuff like that. And then we stopped with the garlic toast for a long time. And then I had a baked potato and I didn't put butter on it. I just put salt. And it tasted really good. I'm like, oh my God.
This is what a potato tastes like, right?
That's what it was. It's like, wow, no butter, but salt. I could live with this.
So it also sounds to me like your taste buds have changed somewhat too. If you can go from putting that much, smart balance on your potatoes and other things, and then to remove that and still be able to eat it and go, wow, this is all right. This tastes pretty good.
Right.
So you've made a lot of those changes.
Yeah.
Have there been any other instances, and I think there have because you've shared them with me, for a lot of people, it's scary changing the way that you eat.
Yes.
Because you've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
And then when you do that and you change and you think, I've got to be perfect.
Right.
I've got to do everything absolutely right and buy the book. And what is the book? And what is everything right?
Right.
There's got to be room for compassion for yourself and realize that you may make some choices to eat some things
right.
that you go, wow, I'm glad I did that because it showed me. So give me an example.
Well, my mom and that do craft shows.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to a craft show. And I didn't have the food I needed to help me along.
To kind of get you through?
Yeah. And I didn't eat during the craft show, so I was starving when we went out to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think that the baked potato and the salad and all that would fill me up. So I got the fish fry. Mm-hmm. I ate the fish, and they had to bring me back to the hotel because I fell asleep. I couldn't function. It's like, wow.
It just didn't make you feel very good.
No, it didn't. It did not. I slept for 5 hours and then I woke up and I was disoriented and...
Yeah. So, not eating during the day, and you mentioned that because you hadn't packed ahead. You hadn't really necessarily planned ahead to say, I need to have some plant-centered or plant-based foods with me so that I'm not going to choose another option.
Right.
So I know that's something that you've done a great job of, okay, now I really need to pack food and I need to plan ahead.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, gotcha. So for someone transitioning who may have come into it the same way you did, kind of by default, but are finding that it is something that you want to continue.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for anybody? Is there one thing that you kind of wish you would have done or would have known, or why don't we instead? I think people are usually interested in hearing some of the benefits that you personally may have experienced as a result of eating plant-centered now. So what are some changes you've noticed?
Well, since I went 100% plant-based and got rid of the oils, my weight has been dropping more. Mm-hmm. I'm not a big exerciser. I do walk the dog maybe 10 minutes a day, 2 or 3 times a day, but I really don't do much more exercise than that. Mm-hmm. And I've lost 27 pounds already. So the kidney doctor was really impressed that I lost that much in a year. Mm-hmm. So
and you're not actively trying to lose weight.
Right.
You're eating healthy, having more energy, and the weight just is coming off as a result of being healthier.
I don't have to take my sleeping medication anymore.
That's great.
They've been reducing my bipolar medicine. Mm-hmm. So
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
So just for that alone.
And then they're going to be testing my thyroid here pretty soon, so I'm hoping that I can get off my thyroid medication.
Wow. Yeah, so these things that you're talking about, these improvements with your health and feeling better, they're pretty motivating, aren't they?
They are. They really are. Because I didn't, I'm like, yeah, okay. That's why it took me from July until December to go 100% because it's like, a little bit here is not going to hurt. And then it's like, wow, that really affected me.
that it made a big difference when you went from, I'm going to eat a few animal products to, I'm just going to cut those out completely.
Yeah.
Well, that's great. So hopefully you'll be willing to come back and share your progress with us as you go. And that means both the benefits that you're finding as being plant-centered and also some of the challenges. So I'm hoping to interview both you and Brad where you can kind of talk about some of the challenges that you've run into and maybe how you've overcome those.
Okay.
Great. So you're willing?
I'm willing.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. I appreciate your time. And everybody, have a great week. I'll talk to you soon.